to this tutorial about mockups. This tutorial will be covering the basics about low fidelity, high fidelity mockups and the mockup tool that we made available to you guys. But just so you know, there's alternates and we'll be going over them. The prototyping process is pretty simple. You want to first get a list of all the functionalities that are available in that state. So just like you did infinite state machine, just imagine that and basically listing all the functionalities based on each and every state. Then determine the flow. So if I click on that button or I click on that feature, where does this take me? And then what is available to me in the next move. Low fidelity are basically hand-drawn sketches. This is to help the team more than the client, and high fidelity is when you're using professional tools to render your prototypes. This is an example of low fidelity. So something you don't show your client unless you really needed to make a quick draft to get a better feel of the feedback that they're giving and to make sure that you're going in the right direction after getting those feedbacks. But most likely this is something you share throughout the team to make sure that you're all on the same page and this is how we want this to look and feel. And for some people, just looking at these makes it clear to them what is the options that they could add to this and how and why and where. Pretty neat and pretty fast to do. You don't need talent, as you see, like it's hand-drawn little lines. Uh, the next one is high fidelity. I took this off of the internet. So you're going to find a lot of those. So if you want to make sure that you're getting it right, the arrows help you know that from the state you could go to various states, and each state has its own title. So you know when you're talking about a page, it'll make it way easier when you say like, oh, the main browsing page, so that your team members know what you're talking about, or the client also. This is a little quote by Steve Jobs. So, design is not just what it looks like and feels. Design is how it works. So if you nail your design right, you don't even need to explain to a client how to use your app. The icons that you chose, the placement of where you put them, is more than enough to basically guide the user in how to use your design. If somebody has to fiddle around and ask, hey, how do I do this? That's a good hint that you might not have done the design so well that it's self-explanatory. And so you've noticed this in a lot of Apple products. They're very intuitive to use, and it's all based on their design. How much time should I invest in the designing and prototyping? I would say it's continuous. Every feedback you get, you want to render or retweak until you hit that final product that's ideal, and then that's usually around the fourth sprint. So mostly all the beginning sprints all the way to the fourth. So instruction, sorry, for mockup software. That mockup is an actual software. So we gave you guys a couple of instructions. So your team leads are going to send me the list of all team members' emails and accounts that they previously made on mockups.com, and then we'll be able to get you guys a free license to use this. It's a super simple and neat tool that we found. And basically, you have the opportunity to go in here for more information on their YouTube channel about different things that you can do with their tool. So I do encourage someone to go in each team to go over all these videos so that you know you have all the knowledge about this tool and you're not missing out on something that could have been super easy to do. These are different tools that you could use. So for example, hand drawing using paint, I find is more for low fidelity prototyping. Mockups is the tool that we made available to you guys. But again, if you have a team member that's able to use these tools, for example, which are way more professional, especially Photoshop or Illustrator, I encourage you guys to do this because it's way more professional and you get to have an even better rendering than what these other tools provide. Sketch is an alternate to Mockups, but it's only available to Macs, so that's why we chose Mockups. And Marvel is more of a flow, so if you did do sorry about that, if you did do drawings and you want to give the flow of your application, you get to plug them in here and then determine what key when you press on goes to where with what transitions. And so it's more for a show, but we put it in there so that you have alternates if ever you were doing like hand drawings or paint and you want to show your team very quick. But mockups also provide that tool, and we're going to see that in a couple of seconds. So I'm going to exit this PowerPoint and show you what the tools look like. So here you have, when you create the first thing, you're going to create a new project. You get to name it. You get to make it public or private. It doesn't matter. And you're going to add your teammates to this. So when you're in here, you're able to create pages and folders. So I would recommend you have like a low fidelity folder and a high fidelity. When you have this, each one of these pages represents a state of your application. And let's see what we have here. I think it's loaded. So just to show you how easy it is, first you want to get a quick draft. So the first top icons that you have are gray design so that there's no color to it. And you just get to place your pictures. Let's say you wanted a map in there, so you get to do that. So there's a slider to zoom on your image or that, and you get the feel. You want to make a rating, so okay, boom, bam. You get the feel of this. If you go lower down, you're gonna get more of a higher end design. So if I use this button, it looks like a material design, and you get to have even more functionality. So if I want to add a whole block, this is how they look. They're already done for you guys, and then you get to change individually in here. I want to change this, I want to change that. You have control over everything in this, and it's pretty neat. If you had to do this in Photoshop, you need skills to know how to manipulate all these photos, versus in here, you get to see how easy it is to do these. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the low fidelity ones because I wouldn't recommend you guys using these tools for that. Just do hand drawings, and then when you get the good feel, go straight to high fidelity when using these tools. I'm going to show you an example of if I use the high fidelity model and I want to use them. If you do preview, for example, I have buttons now activated on this page because I used hot corners, and I'm going to show you how to use them. Hotspots, sorry. So if I use skip, for example, it's actually going to click on something. And if I do sign in, it sign into the different state. I'm in this state now. I want to go to the menu. I open this. This is how the menu looks. I want to go back to home. I click, I go back to home. I want to open back the menu. I want to see my profile. I look at my profile. And all that you're seeing right now in this is, let me just get back out of this, is basically all these different states and the transitions from one state to the other. How do I do these? Pretty simple. If I'm here, for example, and this one had one, let's say you wanted to do another one, you just do this, create a hotspot, place it. Let's say if I click on the icon, I want you to go somewhere. And if I look here, interactivity, where do I go? Go to a specific page. I could go to a website. I could go to the previous page that was open before me. But let's say you want to go to a specific page every time. Okay, what page is it? And then you're going to see that you have them all listed based on what you have here. And anytime I click on this, I want to go to timeline. And then I say, okay, perfect. I preview it. And if I click on this now, it actually goes to that. Pretty simple. So you get a good feel of this. Let's see what's left on our presentation. That was it. So I don't think I need more than that to cover this tool. Just please, as soon as possible, have your accounts ready and send them to your team lead so that he could send me a full list of all the team members so we could send Mockup the request to give us access for you guys. Thanks, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a good day.